regulator has released consultation paper and introduction of options. Basically, different shorter settlement cycle. Yash is joining in with more details on this one. Yash, briefly tell us what this is about.
Well, Prashant, CNBC-TV18 was the first one to speak about SEBI's intention to bring about a faster settlement cycle, faster than what it is currently, that is T+1, and that much-awaited consultation paper is out. So, of course, consultation paper suggesting implementation of two things, an optional T+0 settlement as well as instant settlement. As far as both those things is concerned, SEBI has spoken about the implementation of these two things in two phases. As far as the first phase is concerned, SEBI says that implementation of T+0 settlement will happen under the first phase, where, important to point out that it will be optional to the current T+1 settlement. Under T+0 settlement, trades till 1:30 p.m. Every day on working days would be settled, and they will be settled till 4:30 p.m. on the same day. Once that has been implemented, the second phase will kick in, where optional immediate trade-by-trade settlement will happen, and that will happen till the end of the markets on that particular day, that is 3:30 p.m. Now, after the phase 2 has been implemented, which is instant settlement, the phase 1, that is T+0 settlement, will be phased out, and what we'll have is instant optional settlement along with T+1 settlement that we have currently. SEBI has also spoken about a rough idea in terms of what companies would immediately come under this. The plan is to make T+0 and instant settlement available on top 500 companies. That will be done in 3 tranches, 200 plus 200 plus 100.
Right, got it. Yash, thanks very much for that. Rajesh Baheti is Managing Director at Crosseas Capital Services, someone who watches these regulatory changes pretty closely. Rajesh, good morning. Good to have you with us here. It's not been done anywhere else in the world, but we've done so many firsts here, and others have followed. But on this one, where do you stand? Is this what will it do? What will it mean? And your first take.
Good morning, Prashant. My first take is, let's say you want to sell some stock. Ideally, you would like to get paid on the same day. So from that point of view, you can argue theoretically that it's a good idea to have T+0. But if you're a buyer of a stock, you'd want that one day time to get your money in, buy on that 20% margin and get your money in. The problem is, if the buyers want T+1 and the sellers want T+0, the only way this can succeed is if the arbitrage people step in. The problem with that is we have 0.1% of STT on both sides when you buy as well as when you sell for delivery. So unless the arbitrageurs get a 0.4 or 0.5 difference between the prices in these two parallel settlements, they're not going to step in. So the downside for the sellers could be that if you want to sell and get instant payment on the same day, you might have to suffer a price arbitrage of close to 0.4, 0.5%. And that is, for a day's interest, is a hell of a lot, because 0.2 the government would take. So practically, I don't know how it will work, since they are going to be parallel.
Rajesh, just one. Sorry, yeah. If you're a buyer, you need. So this as soon as you buy, you pay up the full, right? You don't buy. It's not 20 today, some margin and then.
Today you pay 20% and you can bring in the money by the next day.
Correct. But now if this goes through, then on the day of trade.
Obviously, because no broker is going to entertain you with a 20% margin. So effectively becomes a prepaid market. So if it's optional, then why should a buyer opt for a T+0?
Okay, so if it remains optional, the buyer will do T+1 and the seller will opt for T+0. That's basically what you're saying,
correct.
Right?
Correct. And unless a seller and a buyer meet, there is no trade.
Okay.
So Rajesh, then, just to take off from what you said, then how do you see this playing out? Because one party wants T+0, the other party is more comfortable with T+1, then there's really no match there, right? And they propose to, I think, keep it optional, the instantaneous settlement. So, what category of institutions or, who might be the takers for instantaneous settlement, and what perhaps lessons can we learn from markets where this exists?
Well, SEBI is looking at this as a sandbox, I may dare say, that they're doing it and they're making it optional because they realize that there could be a very, very high adverse effect on liquidity if they were to make it mandatory for all classes of investors. So they are making a little experiment here. If they think that the volumes pick up on that segment, they might go and implement this thing in toto. The problem is in India, intraday trading attracts 0.025% STD for the sellers, but whereas delivery-based settlements attract 0.1 for both the buyers and sellers. And we've seen that stocks that go into trade-for-trade settlements today, the liquidity kind of dries up. So there is that risk that if SEBI were to force an instant settlement because the T+0 is anyway an interim measure on everybody, then the liquidity in the cash market might even dry up further.
All right. We'll leave it there, Rajesh. Thank you very much for joining us, and it's a pleasure having you here on the program with us. So that's a quick bit on sort of new innovation as far as the settlement cycle is concerned. It's been remarkable, right? I mean, from T plus whatever number of days down to T plus 3, T plus 2, T plus 1, and now, of course, we're talking about instant settlement. So just quite something in that sense. But of course, I mean, some of these things will have to be worked out. It's a proposal, it's a consultation paper before this gets implemented. I think